We know the cost of a gallon of milk, a new car, or a new computer. We know what it costs to send someone to college or to outer space. We know what it costs to build a skyscraper. But what does it cost to educate a child? The fact is, here in Michigan, the answer is we don't know. Many education experts agree the way we fund our schools is broken. Yet without the answer to this basic question, how can we expect education policymakers to make informed decisions about our kids' futures? And we can't be surprised when education policy and our schools fall short of our expectations. Michigan ranks at the bottom when it comes to student achievement and test scores, and that has to change. So what does it cost to educate a child? To tackle this important question, the School Finance Research Collaborative was formed. The School Finance Research Collaborative is a broad-based bipartisan group of business leaders and education experts from Metro Detroit to the UP who agree it's time to change the way Michigan schools are funded. The collaborative has brought together top industry experts to determine the cost of student achievement for all Michigan students. By performing Michigan's first ever comprehensive school adequacy study, we can answer the question, what does it cost to educate a child in Michigan? Adequacy studies have been performed in more than 30 other states over the past 15 years. Some states have done multiple studies. Nearly all have done so using multiple methodologies. While some research has been done in Michigan, a comprehensive adequacy study using multiple methodologies has never been performed here. Research that examines important cost issues, including factors like preschool, poverty, special education, English language learners, career and technical education, and factors in schools which are geographically isolated. Districts with high concentrations of special needs, at-risk, or high poverty students have different costs to serve these students than those districts which do not have high concentrations. For example, a district in the Upper Peninsula, charter schools, and very small districts have very different costs than a district in Southeast Michigan or West Michigan. The study will uncover what the difference is to produce a truly accurate picture of what it costs to educate every child, regardless of need or location. With initial funding from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, the collaborative has enlisted the country's top 2 research firms on school finance to produce the best, most comprehensive, most accurate information using multiple methodologies on what it truly costs to educate all Michigan public school students. And it will be the only statewide study ever performed to include a statewide panel to examine all the costs faced by charter schools. This adequacy study will be completed by early 2018. The results will be shared publicly with Michigan policymakers, stakeholders, educators, and the public at large. In recent years, several reports have provided a snapshot of the growing problem with Michigan school funding and student achievement, and pointed toward the need to have a truly comprehensive study. Take the Michigan Education Finance Study performed in 2016. Which concluded that at-risk students and English language learners require significantly more funding. That study called for a single foundation allowance formula for all districts, with an option to seek local operating revenues. It also called for improved data on special education costs and revenues designated to fund special education reporting. Michigan currently ranks 24th in per-pupil K-12 spending, which represents a sharp drop in the state's standing, according to Governor Rick Snyder's 21st Century Education Commission report. Michigan ranked 8th highest in per-pupil spending as recently as 2000, but since that time, the state has seen inflation-adjusted per-pupil spending fall by $663 per pupil, while the U.S. average for per-pupil spending increased by over $1,400. Today, Michigan is near the bottom in education performance. In 2015, an Upjohn Institute for Employment Research report on education concluded school financing determines the quantity and quality of instruction. The Upjohn report called for studying best practices for boosting student achievement. The Upjohn Institute also called for more flexibility for districts to increase their operating budgets. And it called for the state to increase support for lower-income districts. So there's never been a more critical time to complete a comprehensive adequacy study in Michigan that answers the question, what does it cost to educate a child? And while the answer today here in Michigan is, we don't know, we do know the cost of doing nothing and continuing the status quo.